I loved mobile games. No, not these ones. I'm talking about the ones that defined the golden age. As a kid, I've always begged my mom to let me play these games on her phone. And recently, I've been feeling very nostalgic about them. So, today, I'll be reimagining 2010's mobile game characters in my art style. Alright, we have to start it off strong, and what better character is there than Red from Angry Birds? Red is the leader of the birds, so I thought it would be really fitting if he were like the buff captain archetype. For his hair, I gave him this middle part mullet slick back haircut because I think it makes him look more mature and more imposing. But despite this, we can't forget the little tuft of hair poof that he has on top of his head. I think another big iconic part of Red's character design is the tail feathers that he has, which are triangular and pretty cool looking. I actually had the great idea to put these tail feathers onto the ends of his mullet. They're like cool extension parts to his hair that kind of just flip out on the bottom, and I think that adds a lot to his character design. I imagine Red to be wearing this captain suit that's very auraful and conveys his dominance to everyone. Despite Red's tough front, I imagine him to have a very soft spot for protecting the eggs and for cute things. You know those people who go to the gym and look super jacked, but their playlist is like kawaii anime songs? I think Red is the type of person who would definitely do that. Inside, he's just a softie. He just likes cute things. Although I'm drawing Red, I gotta be so for real with you guys. My childhood favorite, and also hear me out, is actually Chuck, because look at him. Oh, not this one. This one. If you tap to activate his power in-game, he speeds up and destroys the pigs with ease. You cannot convince me otherwise, like he was so cool. In one of my previous class projects, my team and I recreated Red and Chuck in real life. We also built a life-size slingshot to launch the birds at styrofoam structures. It was so funny because the eyes and the beaks were not properly secured to the dodgeball. Or we tried to do that with duct tape, but it would not stay. So whenever we launched Red at the structures, he would get like completely demolished. And it was kind of brutal. For the background, I wanted to make this look similar to the app icons. So I had another great idea to make the background patterns look like the app's background pattern. Here we are. We have OG Angry Birds and My Angry Birds. Cut the Rope was another huge part of my childhood. My dad was actually the one who put me on. He had this game on his phone, and I would constantly beg him to play, and I think he got tired of it at one point. I think a big part of Omnom's, or like what makes him so unique, is his huge eyes and his big pointy teeth. Whenever he sees candy, his eyes always light up, because who wouldn't? In my mind, Omnom would be around 6 or 7 years old, because I think he would be picky with his veggies. He would only eat candy, and he would refuse to eat his veggies or anything else. Another huge part of Omnom's character is his giant antenna. In my style, I don't really draw antennas on characters too much, so I thought that it would be a really big cowlick as a part of his hair. At first, I thought that Omnom's hair would be more of like a fluffy haircut, but then looking again at his silhouette, I noticed that there aren't too many pointy edges or fluffy looking lines, so I thought that a bowl cut would suit him perfectly. And it also plays into the joke where all kids go through their bowl cut phase. As for outfit, I thought that it would be so cute if I could use some of the patterns from the stages, because something I really like about Cut the Rope is how they use texture in their maps. So I was taking inspiration from this fabric map over here, and I thought it would be the perfect material to put on his overalls. I remember there being so many different boxes and versions in Cut the Rope, and they all had unique mechanisms that were part of the theme. Honestly, I'd say I liked the time travel version a lot more because there were so many different versions of Omnom that you could interact with, and it was so fun seeing them throughout all these other timelines. I also really loved how creative they were with the mechanics. In my favorite one, I really liked the disco version. Omnom was dripped out in sunglasses, And there were laser beams where you could cut the ropes with the lasers. The time travel box would honestly be so fun to draw. Like, imagine drawing Omnom in these different AUs. And with that, we have finished the drawing, and Omnom gets his treat. Yippee! This is Cut the Rope versus my Cut the Rope. Okay, I used to be obsessed with the Talking Tom series. I spent hours and hours just speaking to Tom and hearing him in his goofy voice speak back to me. To us kids back then, finding out about Talking Tom was like discovering electricity. It was that mind-blowing. For Tom's expression, I came across this one image, and he is definitely a tsundere. Tom's got pretty thick eyebrows. They're kind of like semicircles? Not exactly circles, but they're shaped like apple slices actually if you place them upside down. Because literally every single Talking Tom game I've played has Tom in this home setting, he would just stay in the comforts of his house, wear his hoodies, have messy hair, and yeah, that's the life for him. I think Tom's design got nerfed over the years. He became more and more friendly. I think the point of Talking Tom is for Tom to be angry and frustrated with you when you tap on him, and that makes you want to tap on him even more. But if you look at the 2025 version, I think he's a little too jolly. He should not be this happy when someone taps on him. You can see his mouth start to curve up more and more as you progress through the years. I used to love the franchise so much that I played all of the Talking Friends games. Unfortunately, they're all deleted from the App Store, so the only proof I have of them existing were the few screenshots I had on my 2014 iPad. I vaguely remember, it felt like a fever dream. When my Talking Tom released, which is the version where you take care of Tom and help him grow up, I used to be a sweat at this game. In the game, you can also customize what Tom looked like. I gave him like sparkly space fur or something like that. That's right, it was the peak of when Galaxy things were popular, so I gave my Tom Galaxy fur. I think you had to be very high level or have a lot of coins to buy it or something like that, but I remember it was a flex item. Of course, the Talking Tom icon would not be complete without a hand-poking Tom. So, of course, we have to have a hand-poking Tom and he's angry at us. Anyways, here's the two versions of Talking Tom. For Plants vs. Zombies, I wanted to draw Sunflower because she's one of the most important characters in this game. Without her, you're going to accumulate suns a lot more slowly, and that means you can't buy upgrades, you can't buy defenses for your team, and the zombies will all eat your brains. Although she looks really cute and friendly, she's also really tough on the inside. She reminds me of those female characters in a shonen protagonist trio, where the girls are cute but they're also girl bosses. Because of this, I wanted to avoid making Sunflower look too girly. I wanted her to look a little more sporty and a lot more energetic. For her hair, at first I was struggling to envision what these petals would look like as hair. What if she turned out like this? But since I wanted to go for a more sporty vibe, I put her hair into a high ponytail and made it more layered so that it looks like petals of a sunflower. For her expression, I actually considered this meme face right over here. She looks so derpy and smug here. I thought it would have been really funny. But again, I wanted to go for the more iconic Sunflower, so the OG Sunflower, with her just doing a friendly smile. I noticed that Sunflower has these freckles on her face, and it adds a lot more personality to her character. I used to be cracked at this game. I progressed through the water mode, night mode, and the rooftop mode. You know what was the most difficult for me though? The football zombies. I hated them so much, and let me explain why. They always had the jerseys that required so many hits to destroy. And on top of that, they were super fast. It was so hard to fight through these zombies. So you always had to put a wall in front of them. When I played, I would always put Sunflower in the innermost column. So that way, they would keep generating more suns for me to up my defenses while staying protected in the back. Recently, I found out that some people played by putting sunflowers in front of the pea shooters, and they say that the sunflower could act as a final line of defense before they got to the innermost pea shooters. I wonder what you guys think. Personally, I think it makes the most sense for the sunflowers to be in the back column. I think protecting the sunflower is one of the pea shooter's most important jobs. For the background, I had a little fun with this one. I wanted to make the background look like the lawn. And here it is. Plants vs. Zombies versus my Plants vs. Zombies. Next up, we have Poo. Is it Poo or Pow? I've heard it both ways. I've called it Poo ever since I grew up, and I think that's why I downloaded it. Because like every kid ever, we all thought that poop was the funniest thing to ever exist. Because there's not too many main features of the character Pooh, I think I had a little more free reign with how I depicted him. Since he's also constantly at home and he likes to sleep and eat a lot, Pooh should be wearing a Pooh onesie with those big eyes on top. I thought it would be more fun to draw Pooh in his neglected, sad expression, but he was always depicted with wide eyes and a big smile, so I decided to go the iconic route and give him a smile instead. What was difficult about this was hair, because no matter how you look at it, Pooh is bald. I found this screenshot with different hairstyles that Pooh could possibly wear. And let's just say, Pooh needs a trip to the barber. I used the Bieber hair as a starting point because I thought it was one of the only hairstyles that would work well under a onesie hood. I wanted to make the hair look a little more triangular, more volume near the bottom of the hair. For colors, if you look at Pooh, there's not much. He is this one shade of brown and that's it. Because his colors are a little more neutral, I think that we should introduce some vibrant colors to make the whole piece pop out. And looking at the app itself, it's really quite colorful. I've recently seen this game resurge in memes, especially the Sad Pooh plushie. And a lot of people say that's the first time they've ever seen Pooh. I'm really surprised that this game is more niche, because it was a big part of my childhood. I was on my iPad playing Pooh, and you get to purchase in-game currency with real money, right? So, as any curious kid would, I clicked on the most expensive option, which was $100 for some in-game currency. I clicked purchase, and I thought I got that for free because it didn't ask for any credit card info. But what I didn't know was that my grandpa's bank account was actually connected to his Apple ID. Yeah, that's the story of how I accidentally spent $100 in this game. So this is why I remember this game clearly. Here's Pooh, and here's my Pooh. That's funny. Here's my version of Pooh. As a kid, these games were my entire life. Those times were genuinely so peak. Which 2010s mobile games were your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. I gotta head out to cut some ropes and shoot some slingshots, so I'll see ya in the next one. Bye!